boy Stevie Jobber. It's your boy Dangerous Dude. The Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Wait a one. The boy Stevie Jobber. Dangerous Dude. Stay dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm your boy Stevie Jobber.
I'm your boy Dangerous Dude.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Yeah.
And we are doing some of the biggest pods we do this year, every year. The WrestleMania pods, post and pre and post. This is our review of night one of WrestleMania. If you're looking for night two, it'll be tomorrow, or it'll be out now if you're listening the day after this drop. But we're just gonna split them in half. We did that with the predictions. We figured we'd do it with the reviews. And a lot happened. And I think from pre-production, we assumed we're starting this at odds. So Duke, let's get right into it, man. Jey Uso, Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts. First and foremost, congratulations, Jey Uso. You did what a lot of people did not want you to do. Me personally, I was not one of those people. Did I pick Gunther to win? Yeah, I did. Did I want Jey to win? Yes. So I'm happy that Jey won. Matches I thought was good until it wasn't. And what made it not good for me, and this might be different for some people, is the end. Any way you end a world title match for a monster like Gunther, the submission, the sleeper hold to make him tap was not the way to do it. And even if it was the way to do it, not tap as soon as you put the submission. That was probably the biggest gripe for me. Like, oh, okay. Oh, he hitting the spear. Oh, he hitting power bombs. He's hitting Gunther's moveset on him. Okay. He hit the drop kick. Oh, he got him in a sleeper hold. Wait, it's over. Like that was my reaction. Like, wait, that was it. This is the world. This is what you're kicking the show off with. This is the Rumble winners world title match. And it was kind of like, I don't want to use the word anticlimactic for me, but it's kind of like anticlimactic in a way. Like, that's it. Like, we don't get a back and forth, a struggle. We just get the sleeper hold, and as soon as it's locked in, we get the. That was like my only thing, and that's kind of what turned me off to the match a little bit. But that's just my opinion. The match itself, aside from that, I thought it was good. I think Jey winning was great. Happy for him. I'm glad he won. It was just the ending kind of it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, if that makes sense. It wasn't that the match itself was bad. That ending kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth about the match.
I'm going to try to see this in your shoes from your point of view. I see how you could see it that way. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I, however, was celebrating this on the latter half of Sunday. And, well, we both were, but when celebrating this, I was really on the other holiday that was on Sunday after Easter.
Oh.
And I don't know, I call it, the festivities, but I had a surprisingly optimistic view of the match. I thought it was great storytelling, and I thought how poetic for Jay to tap him out. Because by the end, it felt like Gunther was just trying to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was pulling, it went from, I mean, and I guess Gunther's always done this, but it's always kind of worked. And this is the first time it really didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch enough of Gunther's matches, you do realize that most of what he's doing to put his opponents over after he's dominated them is they'll start to get so much offense off that he'll resort to one of his really big moves.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the match is over if he does like two or three of them in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's safe to say this is over.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's some sort of power slam, some sort of drop kick, some sort of chop, some sort of, you know, combination of super moves. So I think the storytelling aspect was that there was back. I felt like there was back and forth the whole time. Normally, there's a lot of Gunther offense. There's a lot of opponent offense. The
Mm-hmm.
opponent offense gets overwhelming. Gunther spams the finisher button. Um, I felt like that was not the case here. I felt like there was a lot of big back and forth, and because it never slowed down,
Yeah.
Gunther started to drown in the pool. And he started to just want to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So it became less of like, all right, we're deep in the match, time to put this thing away, and more like, God, I can't put this thing away. Then we just keep trying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time Jay is starting to turn his moves around, Gunther is panicking. So
Yeah.
by the time we get the choke on, I don't think it's as much about the power struggle. It was more about he was already drowning.
Mm-hmm.
He was already getting far overwhelmed by the fact that Jay just would not slow down at all.
Yeah.
Because it's different when you could beat Roman Reigns. Like I don't know. It felt like it made more sense to me at the end.
Mm.
And it's only because to me it's full storytelling. Like I'm thinking wrestling math here. So I'm thinking to myself, I just heard the line about, Jay saying he's gonna get him.
Mm-hmm.
I said in the pod before, that means this is a different Jay.
Yeah.
That Jay, Pandemic Jay. If you remember Pandemic Jay, he could take a lot of beatings, a lot of beat downs, it took a lot of grinding to make
Mm-hmm.
main event Jay Uso what it was.
Yeah.
From Roman, from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So he can take a beating and he can keep swimming with the best of them. A lot of the expectation going into the storyline was Jay underestimating himself and Gunther underestimating Jay. And I think the moral of this story in the ring was Jay is still that guy. And
Mm-hmm.
Gunther hasn't really felt somebody that can just go that far with it to the level of this guy could beat Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can just take so much of it and we root for him so deeply that when the comeback starts, like we just know how deep in the pool he can go. And every Gunther hasn't look, you can say that, but listen, the last guy that could go that deep in the pool with him was Ilya Dragunov. The Sami Zayn match to me was I hate to
That
say,
was
I
just
hate to say, I hate to say a fluke, but
that was just
unless
Rocky
your name
Balboa.
is Chad Gable, that was Rocky Balboa.
That was just the Rocky Balboa
They did
movie
that one
told
because
in
we were in Philly. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm talking about an actual wrestling matchup where somebody has the characteristics to last against Gunther. And the only other person like that was Ilya Dragunov, because Ilya Dragunov just goes deep in the pool as you needed him to go to pull out the win. And at the end of the day, that's what made us believe that Jay could beat Roman Reigns. So halfway through the match, it is a little Rocky Balboa, but as he's taking all the Gunther punishment and he keeps coming, I'm like, that's the Roman Reigns shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry I'm cussing early in the pod, but that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I'm like, oh, we're getting Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. He can't. That Jay, to me, can't lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in real time, as I realized that, Gunther realized that he's trying to get out of there. Jay gets the chokehold on him, and they didn't hit everything, god damn near. So it just made sense that he tapped to me.
Wow.
So
But
I mean, a lot of people aren't going to be happy about it. It's
yeah.
very divisive.
Yeah. And
Needless.
like I said, I'm not mad at the winner by
Yeah.
any means. I'm very happy Jay won. It's just the finish that I wasn't a fan of. But again, that's a different side of a coin for everybody, to each his own. But that's just where I was at with it.
And I'll tell you this. I felt there's two people. I'm gonna say that there's somebody on night one that I felt the energy of, and there's somebody on night two that I felt the energy of.
Mm-hmm.
Night one for me was Jay, just because there was a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of divisive stuff. If you're online, this is terrible. If you're in the building or you're watching on TV, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to ground myself in what I remember Jey Uso to be
Yeah.
and not get caught up in the internet stuff. So to me, with how validating the win was, it almost felt better that it wasn't a struggle. I felt like it needed to be a statement. It needed to be like, no, like I won.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not debatable. It wasn't like I beat him.
Yeah.
Like how did I do it? It wasn't a series of like I beat him. Like he tapped. Like I didn't pin
Mm-hmm.
him. It wasn't a just kicked out. I tapped him out.
Yeah.
Like it needed to be definitive to me. Um, I don't know. What are your lasting thoughts? And then we'll move on.
Interested to see what happens with Gunther going forward. That's my lasting thought. I want to see how they book Gunther post losing the title.
Trade. Get him out of there. Um, New Day versus the War Raiders.
New Day won.
Yeah, my feelings haven't changed. This match
Yeah.
only made sense of New Day won, so New Day won. But I really would have rather seen the TLC that I predicted that they are giving us a week later rather than giving it to us at WrestleMania, where most ladder matches for World Tag Team Championships happen. Like, why you delay this until the SmackDown after, quite frankly, pisses me off. Okay, I didn't care to see the New Day win the titles. I'm very happy for them. Triple H tweeted 14 times. I guess they're tied with Randy Orton and Triple H, which is nice. You know, great for them. But this could
No,
have been on Raw.
no, I don't think it was because they were tied with Randy and Triple H because that's just for world titles. This was for tag team titles.
What I mean, does that make them the? Well, they already are like the most winningest,
Are they tied with? I'm trying to think. Are they?
unless you compare them to like the Dudleys or whatever.
No, then I don't even think they'd be close because the Dudleys are like 27 or
Well, that's
21
what
or
I'm
something
saying.
like
You
that.
wouldn't compare them to the Dudleys, but like in WWE universe,
Oh yeah, well
they're
then
like
yeah,
the greatest,
yeah, I guess.
which is great. But like, I guess like this could have been on Raw. This could have been on
Hmm.
Raw. Like I would have rather seen ladders.
Me
NXT
too.
knew NXT knew what to do. You know,
Thank
you
you,
know,
NXT.
hang the thing up high, put a ladder in front of him. Jade Naomi. I feel like this is another good one for us to.
Um, for the time they were given and the story behind the match, not terribly upset. Um, Naomi did lead most of the match for me. That's what it looked like. Naomi was leading most of the time. You can tell Jade has gotten better.
Mhm.
Granted, this is what her first Mania singles match.
Yeah.
You could tell Jade has gotten better in ring, which is nice. And with somebody like Naomi, this puts a lot of credit on her, I would say. I liked it. It wasn't super long. It didn't need to be super long. Naomi got some offense off like she needed to do, and it
Mhm.
ended the way it should have, which was
Mhm.
pretty much decisively and
Mhm.
like nail in the coffin ish kind of way. So I liked it. By any means. I wasn't jumping over the moon and doing backflips for it, but I enjoyed it. It was very solid.
It wasn't the banger that I had hoped for, but it was quality.
It was serviceable.
It if it didn't feel so, and I hate to be critical because who am I? But if it didn't feel so choreo, like
Choreographed.
the chemistry wasn't as chemistry as it maybe could have been.
The math wasn't math.
It just felt a little like, you know, I can tell they're going for a spot and they're kind of getting ready for a spot rather than they are like acting. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can feel that when it crosses that line from like getting ready for the next move and acting into the next spot. Like
It wasn't it wasn't
it felt
it,
like a lot of more choreo to me.
it wasn't Longhorn Steakhouse or Texas Roadhouse, but it was
Mhm.
McDonald's.
Yeah. 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 Like I don't mean it to say it was a bad match. I just mean it to
No, it
say,
was good. It was good.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't, filet mignon good, but it was Big Mac good.
I think out of the four women's matches of the night, it's a safe third. Mm,
Yeah. Mm,
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 mm. We'll
no.
discuss it again. We'll come back to this.
Okay.
We'll come back to this. Fatu and LA Knight.
Again, for the time they were given and the things they got off, that was awesome.
I thought they
And
were exceptional.
that's what I said. For a sub 10-minute match, that was great. That match had me smiling the whole time. And just with everything, like with Jacob with the mask, and then learning after the fact that that was made by Bray Wyatt's guy. Um, LA Knight hitting that BFT from the backflip off the top rope. That was great. I just that match was great for the sub 10-minute match that they gave us. Everything they did, they left it out in the ring, and they made their point that next year we gonna need some more time, the both of us.
Mhm. I think that's very true. I think this was stepping stones for Jacob. Um, but they did everything they needed to do given the time that they were given. And when you got two people like that are veterans in the business, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Fatu did what he needed to do. LNI did what he needed to do. Great spot with the BFT. The BMEs, perfect as always. And it just, everything just felt right. I'm going to keep my convoluted crackpot theories for like night two, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this, I had no problems with this.
No.
No solo, no Tama. Did it on his own, beat him on his own, like I knew he would. Because why would you doubt him? The fact that you thought he needed somebody is a flaw in your logic. Like at the end of the day, Jacob Fatu is gonna do what Jacob Fatu does.
And I do
And
appreciate Haku jumping the rail, saying, "Get on my way, security," and actually congratulating Jacob in the ring.
shout out to Haku. Shout out to Haku. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna keep my convoluted crackpot theories for next pod, but they're there. They're brewing. They're brewing. But yeah, no big comments. Happy for Fatu. Knew this was coming. Since the 2300 arena, he was destined for gold.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with that, we move on to the co-main event: Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte
Mm-hmm.
Flair. No, who else do
No,
we have?
we have El Grande Americano and Ray
Oh
Phoenix.
snap! Ray Phoenix and El Grande Americano. How could I forget? Um, can I go first on this?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Um, I thought they were great. I thought they were great. I thought the mariachi band was fantastic. I thought the presentation for El Grande America. I had a ball. Like I had a ball. This match was fun for me. Like I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I thought Phoenix got off. I thought Gable got off as El Grande Americano got off as much as humanly possible. I enjoyed the was that a 360 senton he did?
Yeah,
What was that? 360 backflip and senton, whatever it was. That was amazing. Glad he added that to his arsenal. Pretty cool. You expect the big American, Kurt Angle moonsault, and then you get the 360 senton, which is even better.
mm-hmm.
Um, I like this. And seeing as how they should we keep the AAA news stuff to comments tonight too?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll keep it tonight too. But I just felt like they put on a great performance, and honestly, I left it going. They could do more with this. They could take this somewhere if they're really serious about it. They could take this somewhere. I could see the heat in it. The obvious heat, the obvious like classic lucha storytelling heat
yeah,
of El Grande Americano being a natural heel to luchadors. I could just it writes itself to me.
it definitely does. I will say that I appreciate the fact that they didn't try to get fancy with this match. Granted, this match was supposed to be El Grande Americano and Ray. Obviously, Ray gets hurt on SmackDown, so now you have to scramble, figure out what you're gonna do next. So they made the best of it, and the best of it was instead of making this about a story, let's just keep it fun. Let's keep it entertaining. Let's try to get a laugh out of this if we can, and but still make the laugh serious in a way. And I think that they accomplished it with this match, adding the steel plate thing, making that a big deal. Um, and El Grande Americano gets a win in his WrestleMania debut, so you can't really be mad at that, man. I mean, he did what he did good. I don't mind if El Grande Americano sticks around for a little while. We could keep him. Sucks that Chad Gable couldn't get the match, but hey,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
I'm sure he was proud of El Grande Americano back in catering. But yeah, we can keep him around a little bit longer.
yeah, man. And there's something so classical uh about putting the steel plate in your mask. It's like Iron Sheik with the steel plate in the boot, or
Hmm.
Bob Orton with the plate in his arm, or Dusty with the bionic elbow, or William Regal with the brass knuckles. Like
Yeah,
there's something very like classical heel wrestler about the plate in the head. Um, and finding a way to get the protected headbutt, diving headbutt off is, big kudos to you. I thought I'd never see that again.
hmm,
I was almost certain they'd never let that move happen again. The crossface is one thing, but the diving headbutt itself had a lot of controversy behind it.
yeah.
And they're getting it off pretty well. I like it on Gable. I like everything. I like everything they're doing here. Okay, and with that, we move to Tiffany and Charlotte. which to me was a fight.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though. I wouldn't mind them doing this a couple more times. I'll be honest with you. Like,
if they can work on being a little less,
I like it.
a little less stiff with each other at certain points.
Nah, man. Sometimes you need that, man.
Look.
Sometimes you need
So
your Cactus Jack, Triple H. Like,
now
go out
I
there and be tough.
I'm the way I'm
Earn
looking
your
at it
freaking
is
stripes, man.
I agree.
Empty
I
arena
would.
match. No.
Oh my God, no! Someone's dying. Probably Tiffy. Um, no, but in all seriousness, I think it was a good match. I liked it. Towards the end there, it did look a little stiff at certain spots, but I think when you say some of the stuff you said and you punch the way you were punching in the ring, you got to come out of there with a little bit of respect for the other. So I feel like if, you know what, I got my frustration out on you, you got your frustration out on me. We said some things, we retaliated the way we did, put on a great match. We could squash it now and just go put on great matches.
I think this is a very containable Brett and Sean.
Yes, very yeah. This isn't as volatile as Brett and Sean were, but yeah,
This could be
in
like,
the same air, in the same yeah.
you work this right, and like, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we're gonna do some work in that ring kind of thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this could be very beneficial for all involved. Um,
Very
I,
Matt and Jeff.
I very mad, Jeff. Like, I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed everything about the match. It didn't have to be super clean. It didn't have to be, and sometimes we put so much on that. I
Look
think
at Tiffy taking her lumps.
sometimes and Tiffany needed that, honestly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that was something that really does help Charlotte. Like, for as pristine as she appears, like, we remember the brawls she used to have. You know what I mean? We remember how she used to cut her teeth, being one of the baddest women, in the division. So Tiffany needs a little bit of that. She been too prissy this whole time. She needs some.
Yeah,
She
she
need a
needed to be
little bit of.
tested.
She needed to be tested, and to go as far as you went with Charlotte Flair, it puts a little edge on your name, and I feel like everybody needed that. Everybody
Yeah.
needed that little bit of edge on Tiffany Stratton. Um, any lasting thoughts before we move to the main event?
No, that's pretty much it for me on that match. They did their thing, and she earned some stripes.
For sure. What's next for Charlotte?
Oh,
Trade, or
mm,
we don't know who's getting shaken up this year.
yeah. I think it's a wait and see game with Charlotte.
Yeah. All right. The main event, the greatest triple threat match in WrestleMania history. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Thoughts on the entrances?
I like Seth's wardrobe switch up midway through. I thought that was pretty neat. Roman was Roman. I like the elders coming from the sky.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Side note, I was a little jealous of them Jordans. Them Jordans he was wearing was sharp.
No.
Um, and man, Phil, man, CM Punk. I'm just glad we got. I'm just glad we got Kill Switch engaged. At
Yeah,
least for
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. At least for that little bit that we got Kill Switch engaged, and then to top it off, you bring In Living Color out of the damn woodwork and let them kill it. That was great.
Big nod. Like, I gotta give props to that, right? Having Kill Switch Engage it be this promo song
Mm-hmm.
to and Live in Color Live playing you out, sick, sick,
Mm-hmm.
sick, nostalgic, very nostalgic.
Yes.
And you didn't have me until the watch check. The Living In Living Color coming out, playing the song, very dope.
Hmm.
on package, very dope. Um, but getting to the clobbering time and Paul putting his hand out, it's like, oh man, damn it, I want him to win. God damn it. It
Hmm.
felt good having that back together again. It's like, they're best friends. They aren't. Not in story anymore, but
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I hate to make this a quick I told you so, but
Yeah,
I kind of said it.
you
Did
did.
kind of say it.
You did.
And then the sequence of how it happened too, just ooh, great match. We get to the we're gonna do this power bomb, man. You and me, Shield days. Let's do it. You get the I'm torn. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Uppercut. We're not doing that. I'm in business for myself. And then Paul's faced with that dilemma. Who does he give? Who does he give it to? Slides it right to Punk. Straight low blow to Punk. Roman is happy. His wise man has never left his side. Gives him the chair. Lets him go do his thing to Seth.
Look, there
True.
he is. Terrible.
Hmm.
Teed him
This is
up
what
and
you want. This is what you wanted. And it says like Seth already knew. Let me give him my back. Let him think
he
he got
was
this.
standing there a little long.
Little
I
too
mean,
long, just
a
waiting.
little too long. Hmm.
And then Cox back with the chair. Paul Cox back himself and Cox him. Hmm.
Got in there with it.
He did kind of look like he was fishing for something when he did it, but hey, not gonna judge.
Um,
Maybe
man.
he was trying to reach the Ulafala. I don't know.
Um, so I want to get into. No, I don't. I'm gonna skip right by the match and get to the story here. We had both predicted Seth, but I didn't know it was gonna quite happen that way, but it did make sense. Like it did make sense. Like I thought, Roman without Paul, he's losing. Paul not really being sure, Punk not being really sure if Paul was being loyal,
Hmm.
tricky position to be in doesn't really help your odds one way or another because you're just not sure which way Paul is. The
Yeah,
only person immune to that is Seth, who generally usually has things figured out. He's an architect. So
he's a
it did
visionary.
it did kind of make sense that he was gonna win, but I didn't think he'd trick Paul. And I don't even want to say that. I didn't think he would convince Paul to turn on the both of them. I thought it would be a situation where he would predict Paul into a rock and a hard place and ultimately come up smelling roses because he had game planned the whole thing perfectly. This was a little more to the T because he kind of convinced Paul to join him, which was the ultimate backlash. Um, so do we legitimately get Paul with Seth every week now? Like, what is this new Seth? You know, what is this new Paul?
This new Seth is dangerous.
Mm,
It's very, it's very dangerous. It's very scary to think about. When you think of the visionary, the revolutionary, the architect, that's scary on its own.
right.
Then you think about him with Paul Heyman.
Hmm.
That's just even scarier. We've seen Paul with Brock and the positions he was in. We've seen Paul with Roman and the positions he was in.
Hmm.
Paul with Seth, that's like it's like the devil having a devil on his shoulder. Like the devil's already scary enough as it is, and then you just added the devil on the shoulder of the devil. It's like That's that's very scary,
Mm.
and
Again, uh,
I'm here for it.
yeah.
We
Again, I
just
say I say trade him
we,
SmackDown.
we just got a new top heel.
Hmm. For sure, for sure. His stock just went up.
Yeah, we just
I
got a
think
new.
he's. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. I think he's. I think he's got to go after the. I think he's got to go after the WWE Championship now. Because I had to think about what ultimately he would have wanted out of the situation to keep
WWE
Paul
title.
around, to keep Paul around after this. You know, it's one thing to beat Roman Reigns, done that. It's one thing to beat CM Punk, needed to do that, needed to get him out of here, needed to get him in a place where he couldn't accomplish anything, done that, check off the list. What do I now keep Paul around for to accomplish that I had not accomplished before? And I think to myself, well, even though John's champ, I have not beaten Cody Rhodes. And
Hmm.
because I'm a heel now, I can kind of pretend John Cena having the belt doesn't affect me and go after, one of the biggest gripes in my career. Um, and you got to think you can only really go after Punk now. I think they might go till whenever. I don't know. Hopefully not SummerSlam, but they're gonna go for a while. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Punk, for Seth or for Roman.
It's gonna be interesting. That's the biggest question mark after all this is what's next for the both of them.
Yeah, yeah. And the official end of the bloodline.
Yeah.
I guess this one we don't have to save till night two because there's no bloodline on night two. But they're saying it's the official end of the bloodline.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the
I w-
story is over.
it's looking that way. Like the big story of it, at least. Yeah.
So what is your I have a takeaway, and then I have theories. Do you have any takeaways, theories for me on the bloodline for the people at this moment?
Um, if this is the end of the bloodline, I would say this is the end of the greatest wrestling story of the last 10 years, and kind of sucks, but I don't think it's really the end. Like it's the end of the big story. I could see this as being kind of Marvel Cinematic Universe-y.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, the Avengers movies are done. We're not getting like Infinity War is over, the End Game is over. Now we're not getting the Avengers, but we're still getting the Avengers stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll still get the Bloodline stories, but we're not getting the Bloodline saga.
Like
I
that
th-
whole run of
yeah,
episodic storytelling is over.
yeah. Like,
We will do
because
callbacks. We will
yes,
do movies here and there, but no longer do we do the
it's gonna be
big
it's
drawn
gonna be
out.
a long while before we get the big movie again.
Gotcha. Um, my theory is that now that we're at the end of this,
Hmm.
um, that it really was Jay's story all along.
Hmm.
Because at the end of it, you see the clips people put together online, and what Cody said before he had taken the title. Was it before? Yes, before he had taken the title from Roman, about what would happen following him taking the title from Roman.
Hmm.
About the fall of Jimmy, the fall of Jay, the fallout of Solo, the fallout of Paul, how he'll be alone, he'll have nothing. Um, and I think to myself, you know, They do the story. Jay goes rogue. He gets out of there. We never get to see him beat Roman except for that one time in the tag match with Solo and Roman. He goes off, and on the same night that he becomes world champion, Roman is alone. No Paul, no Jay, no Jimmy, no Solo,
No Sammy.
no Sammy. Betrayed, chair in his back again by a person he thought was his friend, and the person that saved him at War Games. Like, and at the end of the day, like, this really was Jay's story. He's the sole beneficiary of the bloodline saga ending at the end, because on the same night, Roman's story kind of crumbles as the end of the bloodline saga because there's no more Paul Heyman standing next to Roman Reigns. Jay has accomplished everything he set out to accomplish without having to beat Roman.
And it's all Cody's fault.
And ultimately, it was all Cody Rhodes' fault. All of Cody Rhodes' fault, ultimately. So I guess it is a perfect storybook ending for the bloodline. That being said, Final Fantasies, before I get out of here, that's a callback. I think Fatu and Solo go it on their own until ultimately I think Jacob and Solo find Roman. And they kind of reform. It's not in the weekly episodic, this is the main show on the thing, but
yeah,
it's more of a
we'll come together at some point.
We'll come together at some point.
Yeah.
I think we pick a great time to lose Tama Tonga and Tongaloa from TV. I think we take a perfect time to kick Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day in order for Finn Balor to then get traded or have Tama Tonga and Tongaloa get traded to wherever show Finn Balor ends up on. I want all three of them to collectively take a WrestleMania hiatus until they appear again together to wreak havoc on Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day. I think Dom will add a third, and they will be a collective unit. And Dom will go on a good run until collectively he's attacked by Finn Balor, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa.
But we'll get into that for night 2.
Yeah. Anyway, I think big things for the Samoans. I think Fatu will be on his own. I think it'd be a great time to cut up the rest of the people in that rogue bloodline. I think Jay's done enough on his own. Jimmy will come back, and he's ultimately on another show, so he'll establish himself. Like, I think everyone chooses right now to have a good time to break up, except for Solo and Jacob. I think Jacob is still great, but they're not going to make him world champ yet, so they should probably just put him back with Roman.
Yeah.
Just because Solo still needs the development. He needs to find his place.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So I think it could benefit the three of them. But with that being said, I think that does it for night 1. Is there any lasting thoughts before I get us out of here? Because I've talked too long.
Yeah, night 1 was wild, and then night 2 was even wilder. And you're about to find that out.
So we're not gonna do the long drawn out goodbye. Please listen to night 2 if you enjoyed night 1. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the links at the bottom. I've been Stevie Jobber.
I've been Dangerous Dude.
And this has been the Dangerous Jobbers podcast for night 1. I almost messed that up. See you on night 2. Stay up, stay blessed, and Duke, as always,
stay dangerous.
Boom.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?